Like, honestly, mate, how much would it cost for you to come round to mine and do my chimney? Like, start calling you Titch Van Dyke.
Titch Van Dyke.
Right. Hey there, Thronies. We're back again.
Thronies, are we actually going
We're
with
with
that?
Thronies.
We've always had thronies.
Like bronies or something.
Yeah,
Thronies.
yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this.
I mean, I could go Throners, but
How about... How about throw knights? How about that?
No, that's just so shit.
Thronies.
That sounds like throw knives.
How about that? Throw knights.
No.
No? Alright.
Oh my god.
Well,
shut it, Pinky Blinders.
please...
I'm sorry. The
Thronies.
Thronies.
Fucking
Throners!
I just Throners is.
Oh, don't listen to that idiot. He's drinking a 0% Doom bar.
We are on episode 6 of the House of the Dragon.
Painfully we are.
Oh, it's been
You're breaking the illusion. You're breaking the illusion.
What illusion?
You mean like the last illusion where we wear the same goddamn clothes for like 5 episodes in a row?
For episode 7, I'm just going to take my hoodie off, and they'll be like, "Whoa, different day."
Same ugly. Can you imagine if they called this Thronies? How much?
David,
How much it would have got roasted?
the curry is too hot.
And push. And again.
A boy princess is the new term.
The Queen has requested that the child be brought to her.
Why? I'll take him myself.
You should remain a bed princess.
Yes, I should.
A boy. I've just heard.
Yes.
Hold on. Where are you going? Was it terribly painful? I took a lance through the shoulder once.
My deepest sympathies.
I'm glad I'm not a woman.
Yeah, amen.
It's good to know that Sarkhan was alive and well back in...
What could she possibly want?
Princess, Seleno, it is a privilege to be amongst the first
Shut
to
up, you
congratulate
idiot.
you.
Like, shit.
It's like you can literally just see how much pain there is. Like, let me be the first.
Why doesn't he carry her up them?
I genuinely thought he was about to.
Like, what the fuck?
This is obviously a spiteful request, right? No one normally does this, right? For the princess, the queen. This isn't...
Well, yeah. So I don't know. It's been a little while, hasn't it, since the last one?
Like,
Funny enough,
she's been ordered to do this, knowing it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. How much you've noticed at the moment, but there's been a significant time jump.
I have not picked up on that.
I was shocked you didn't even pick up it was a different actress. That's Rhaenyra.
Oh, really?
I've been sat here waiting for you to be like, who the fuck's this?
I'm waiting for the names to start coming out.
Talia, fetch a cushion for the princess.
There's no need.
Nonsense.
Yeah, this is Rhaenyra and, what's her face? The woman who married her dad.
Right. Yes, okay, yeah, both
Happy
married
news
dad.
this morning.
Yeah.
Indeed, Your Grace.
A fine prince.
Let me just look. In the little-
Sturdy. You will make a fearsome knight.
Does the babe have a name yet?
We haven't spoken.
Joffrey.
Fuck off! Joffrey.
I do believe he has his father's nose.
Right, okay, so yeah, that's an older version of...
I think I called the midwife a cunt.
Do keep trying, Selena. Sooner or later you may get one who looks like you.
So she's become a bit of a bitch then. While she's married to that old fossil.
You don't think to consult me before you name my child.
He's our child, is he not? I deserve some say in the affairs of my own family.
Interested in our affairs, right?
That's fucking grim, man. You can see the
Why
blood on
didn't?
the floor.
Why didn't? Yeah, I know. I can see that
Yeah,
trail.
yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually. That's
Pretty cool.
the way they did that. Why didn't they have the courtesy to say that there's a time jump at the beginning? Like,
So- Obviously, we helped you out with a little bit of this. welcome to what we all did when this episode ended. We're like, who are these people? What's going on?
Yeah, like why did they?
Oh yeah, they do it without telling you.
How many years are we talking though? Like, are we 10, 20? Because she looks significantly older.
Yeah.
I mean, 20, I'd say. I mean,
I don't think it's 20 years, but I think it's at least
15.
No, not that many.
I mean, she looked like,
the
she
jump
looked like
in
a teenager. Now she looks like she's mid-30s.
This is why it was so jarring.
No. Back to
Yeah,
the
so
dragon
those kids
pit.
are what, like...
There you
Two.
go. So had those two kids, haven't they?
Yeah. So it's probably been, what, like 7-8 years, maybe?
Yeah.
I guess I can IMDb it, can't I? Tell me. I feel like it's his child, not the other one.
The commander of the city watch.
Cool cloak, though. Are you having a laugh?
The Queen keeps asking to see the kids because obviously the kids here with the dark hair that should have blonde hair because they're her kids have black hair.
Right, and how is that?
Because if you think Valerian and Targaryen, her husband and her both have white hair. So
Yeah,
how
yeah.
they've got dark-haired children, so that's why she keeps asking to see the babies.
Right. Oh, yeah, Aegon Targaryen, yeah, that's the first.
Once they're fully bound to you, they will refuse to take instruction from any other.
Dracarys Vermax.
That's one way to sear your steak.
Goat curry.
Aemon, we have a surprise for you. You're the only one of us without a dragon.
Indeed.
We found one for you.
A dragon.
Behold, the pink dread.
So yeah, is it a fair assumption that the princess is sleeping with other men
Oh yeah.
to get those children? To get those.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's not some.
It's not like she's just.
It's not like some
thought that was
curse
obvious.
or.
He did it again.
After how many times you've been warned, must I have you confined to your chamber?
They made me do it. They said they found a dragon for me.
The last ring has no legs at all.
But it was a pig.
You will have a dragon one day.
He'll have to close an eye.
They made wings for it, apparently. And a tail. Your grandsons are a menace.
They are more children than he is.
They're savages. And it's not surprising.
That is an incredible
You sure it wasn't our Aegon?
minute.
It's a wonder to me their eggs ever hatched.
Why is that?
You know why.
Do we ever see that model later in the years in the King's Landing? Like, did they ever have that presented somewhere in a throne room?
I can't remember.
Because you
I
think
think that's what King's Landing becomes.
no, but I'm saying you'd think something that delicate would be like be put in a throne room for hundreds of years or something like.
Nature is a thing of mysterious works.
How do you know? The silver stallion. How do you know it was him?
The consequences of an allegation like the one you twirled would be dire. Do not speak of this again.
Have I lost my sanity, Sir Criston? Do my senses lead me astray, or is everyone else asleep, dreaming the same woolly dream?
The Princess Rhaenyra is brazen and relentless. A spider who stings and sucks her prey dry.
I have to believe that in the end, honour and decency will prevail. Whose idea was it? The peg.
It was Jace. It was the two of them.
Aemond is your brother.
Oh, he's a twat.
We are family. We must defend our own.
It was funny.
Do you think Rhaenyra's sons will be your playthings forever? Rhaenyra will ascend the throne, and Jacaerys Targaryen will be her heir. You are nearly a man grown. How is it that you can be so short-sighted? If Rhaenyra comes into power, your very life could be forfeit.
Then I will not.
You are the challenge! You are the challenge, Aegon! Simply by living and breathing! Is that one day you will be our king?
The guy jerking off at the windowsill.
We are fortunate in our cook, Your Excellence.
A toast to Aegon the Conqueror.
Aegon the Conqueror.
This brings me to some business. A proposal I wish to make.
Your aim is to marry one of our daughters, Your Excellence. You might have said so and spared us the history lesson.
What?
I wish to offer you a permanent residence here in Pentos. You would have your freedom of the city and the harbour, as befits your royal station.
Continue.
Lys and its allies rise again. The Triarchy has made common cause with Corin Martell of Dawn. Your family has dragons, and my gratitude will fill your cup and overflow it.
It's a most generous offer, and one we will certainly entertain.
You are considering Prince Reggio's offer.
We have a good life here. We are without responsibility. The political scheming, the endless shifting of loyalties in succession is none. A simple transaction. We have dragons, they have gold.
We don't belong here.
Valyria is gone, we don't belong anywhere.
And at my end, I want to die a dragon rider's death. Not that of some fat country lord.
Never thought I'd see the day that he was domesticated.
Yeah. I forget what family she's from because she's got blonde hair like he has.
She's the daughter of the sea snake. Do you remember when they were trying to marry her off to the king and she was like this tiny little girl?
Yes.
Well, she ended up flirting. In the last episode, she was flirting with Daemon at the
dance,
thingy,
yeah.
And now she's married Daemon.
Right.
So it's combined the two bloodlines.
This is why it was so crazy, the time jump, because they've changed a lot of the actors, or mainly the actresses. They've kept all the actors, changed all the actresses to older actresses and stuff. And so it's a bit...
Yeah.
Yeah, so all these people are like, they look so much older than Daemon's Devon.
Yeah, right, yeah.
My opponent sues for mercy.
You'll have a new opponent then, my Lord of the Straw. Let's see if you can tell
Lord of the Straw.
You and your brother.
Weapons up, boy. Seems the younger boys could do better with a bit of your attention, Sir Kristen.
You question my method of instruction, sir. You spar with Aegon. Eldest son against eldest son.
It's hardly a fair match.
I know you've never seen true battle style, but when steel is drawn, a fair match isn't something anyone should expect. Engage. I'll deal with him. You! Down the attack! Use your feet! Don't let him get up.
Enough!
You dare put hands on me!
They're gone! This is what you teach, Cole. Cruelty. To the weaker opponent.
Your interest in the Princeling's training is quite unusual, Commander. Most men would only have that kind of devotion toward a cousin or a son.
What? Chat shit gets smacked. Fucking deserved it.
What happened to using the wooden sticks?
He had them all in his hand, he could have been hitting him with them.
That could have been.
Princess, there's been an incident in the yard.
Your new lover beat the shit out of your old lover.
Shame on the whole of House Strahd, because I laid my hands on that insufferable Cole.
You have laid us open to accusations of an uglier treachery. Don't play the fool with me, boy. Your intimacy with the Princess Rhaenyra is an offence that would mean exile and death.
Spun by the princess's rivals.
People have eyes, boy. And yet today, you publicly assaulted a knight of the King's Guard in the defence of your...
You have your honour. And I have mine.
The poppy, is it? Flower of the poppy, whatever it is.
You'll feel better in a day or two.
Football fans.
My dear wife.
Princess?
I fell down. Milk. Swells the breast.
Would you mind, Sir Carlo? I would like to speak with my husband.
War is afoot again in the Stepstones, Rhaenyra. Carl's been fighting there. He showed me up. After all this time, this is just what I need. To be back at sea.
Are you mad? Dark rumours are hunting us, Laenor. Questions about our son's parentage.
Insinuations, are they?
And their true father will not abandon them now to go carousing through the narrow sea.
And I have played my part here for 10
10 years.
Yeah.
For 10 years, you have indulged yourself, but you do not desert your post when the storm lashes.
The wise sailor flees the storm as it gathers.
As your princess and the heir to the throne, you are commanded.
That's like the ace that you wasn't expecting.
It's fair enough as well, because like it does impact both of them. I mean,
What, for him to stay?
As in, like, there's now rumour and speculation around.
Yeah, but as he's said, clearly, he's done his part. He's not really that bothered. He'd rather get on a boat and go.
Yeah.
He's not bothered about the consequences because she's got a mixture of.
Yeah, no, but
she's got a mixture of his son, some other sons. That they're all.
I think the reason he's not bothered, I don't think any of them are his sons.
Mm.
I think what she's trying to say is, if this all comes out and stuff, the consequences affect their entire family, not just her.
Yeah, but I mean,
so it's about how much he cares about.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he wants to get on a boat and go.
That to happen.
But if you wish to be a rider, you must claim that right. Your father will tell you the same.
What's her dragon called again? Sorry,
Vhagar.
Vhagar. Is that the black one? Big.
Yeah, the two you just saw.
Yes.
So there's a red and a green one, but her one's in the egg, isn't it? It's not hatched yet.
Are you talking about the little girl or the mum?
The girl here, the girl that's on the egg.
Yeah, that's in an egg. So hers hasn't hatched.
And what's that one called?
I don't know. Because it hasn't hatched yet. We're saying the mother's dragon's Vhagar, which is the biggest dragon in the world, bigger than Daemon's.
Right.
Rhaenyra has delivered another son.
Does your brother mention if this one also bears a marked but entirely coincidental resemblance to the commander of the City Watch?
It seems that I miss my brother, Daemon.
I miss Westerosi strong wine.
Do you never long for home?
No.
You do not sleep.
Well, how can I with you haunting my every move?
Perhaps I too am not the wife you would have wished for yourself.
Lena.
But you are more than a
He's
stable.
doing all right for himself.
We should address the latest developments in the Stepstones, my lords.
Never be shut of that blasted place.
Personally, I think the Blackwoods. Where, I wonder, is our Prince Daemon? I suppose I should call him king, as he styled himself when he won a battle there.
It was a decade ago, and he has since left the region undefended.
We have left it undefended. Watchtowers, a fleet of ships, a garrison of soldiers sent to hold our ground.
We cannot afford it. Our coffers are great, but not infinite.
But we have been lax, and the old monster now lifts its head.
Let us be finished.
Did kind of feel like none of the guys were in
Wait.
the room just then.
I wish to speak.
Be seated.
I have felt the strife between our families of late, my queen. And for any offence given by mine, I apologise.
Oh, it's
But
power
we
play.
are one house. Long before that, we were friends. My son, Jacaerys, will inherit the Iron Throne after me. I propose we betroth him to your daughter, Helena. Ally ourselves. Once and for all. Let them rule together.
He's like, more children, yes.
If Syrax brings forth another clutch of eggs, your son, Aemond, will have his choice of them.
Ooh.
Symbol of our goodwill.
That is a good deal.
A dragon's egg is a handsome gift.
The king and I thank you for your offer, and we will consider it duly.
King's going to sign off on it now.
Husband.
He looks at that ready
He's
to
even
go.
looking at her going like,
He's
what the
like-
hell? What the hell?
We had a deal here. We had an egg on the table.
I nearly had a dragon egg.
He does look like that husband that's looking at the Porsche whilst the wife is looking at
Yeah,
the 4x4.
Yeah.
And for me to marry my only daughter to one of her plain-featured sons.
Plain-featured.
We're a family. Let us put aside these childish quarrels.
When I am cold in my grave.
Where's that Papa Roach incest song you can play right now?
I think it's called Infest.
It's called Infest, but we're going to change it to incest.
I was gonna say, there's no incest yet.
Well, it's on the table, just like the egg. Things he's ready to pop at any moment.
I'm being endlessly fussed over Lionel.
What might this errand be about, Lord Lionel?
I have come to resign my position as Hand of the King.
Young Harwin's outburst was unfortunate, it's true. But he's been expelled from the City Watch. That seems punishment enough. You have served me faithfully. Your advice has been sage, unmarked by self-interest.
But there is a shadow over my house, and it grows ever darker. I can no longer serve you with integrity.
Name it if it casts such a gloom.
Yes. You must have your reasoning in plain language.
I think Alicent needs to leave the room.
Yeah, so they can have a frank convo.
I cannot.
Then I cannot accept this.
My dear husband.
I said no.
If you insist, my king.
I do.
I would then ask leave to take my son from court and escort him back to the family seat at Harrenhal.
A clever move.
Yeah.
For all involved.
In fairness, I don't think, like, obviously him as the Hand of the King that took over from, obviously, her dad. I don't think anyone really gave him that much credit, because he is quite... He's always had smart advice.
Yeah. She's just frustrated that didn't...
Go her way.
Didn't explode, yeah.
I mean, credit to the king, though.
Well, he knew
'cause
he
sees these fractures, and he's the one trying to glue
Yeah,
it all back.
exactly, yeah. He
He's
helped.
just like, is this really big shit that needs to be worried about?
Yeah.
Like, he's thinking about 7 kingdoms, and she's turned into mecha bitch.
It's been my duty to tell you of happenings about the castle, but tonight you know, and I do not. With my father.
He attempted to resign his post.
His honour's always been a millstone about his esteemed neck. Interesting you said attempted.
My lord husband refused to accept.
Then he fell short of confessing my brother's transgressions. Truth is,
So his own brother's plotting against him.
Yeah.
Do you expect the king to doom his dear daughter to exile, or even... It's a willful blindness. The king.
Lord Lionel is to escort Sir Harwin back to Harrenhal to watch over his seat whilst he continues to serve his hand.
My father cannot give unbiased counsel to the king.
He wouldn't hesitate to speak the truth to the king if Otto Hightower was still at hand.
You cannot say, my queen, that your father would be impartial in this matter.
No, but he would be partial to me.
Hypocrite.
What was the... What was the character in the original one that gave all the whisperings out and the sparrow? Sparrow?
Are we talking about
the dude that had the whorehouse?
Barry?
Oh, yeah.
What was his...
Yeah,
the little finger.
Little finger.
A murderer, a deviant, a traitor to the crown. I am prepared to offer you mercy.
Oh, no, absolutely not. What's the price?
Oh.
Well, the tongue is the price.
So they can't talk?
Yeah.
Fuck about.
So he's basically saying, I'll let you free if you agree to have your tongue cut out. Because I need you to do
so you
things
can't
that you can't
talk.
talk about.
Gotta say though, House of Dragon, like they just turned the fucking.
I've noticed it's very pregnancy heavy.
Yeah, it's a lot of.
It's just the overall cringe and gore factor is higher.
I wouldn't say the gore factor. I think it's the fact there's an awful lot more in terms of
intensity.
Less body appendages flying off and more nastiness.
Reached the limit of my art.
Yeah, my brave girl.
They are Dracarys! Dracarys!
Lena! Be good to your mother, lads. I'll visit when I can. I will be a stranger when we meet again.
These 2 sons he's leaving behind, who do they end up becoming?
Don't know yet.
Or I don't know the names.
Well,
No, little one's Joffrey, that's Jacaerys. I don't know the other child's name.
Yeah, I forget.
Am I a bastard? You are a Targaryen.
You're not.
I mean, technically he is.
I mean, he's got the DNA in him, but I mean, he's not in the traditional sense. He's getting ready for war.
A word? We're finished here. We're leaving. I made a spectacle. They whisper about me in the corridor as well. I leave them to it.
To Dragonstone, then?
I should have left years ago.
You always said if you were absent from court, she would pour her honey in your father's ear.
Bring him. We'll need every sword we can muster.
Oh dear.
I mean, that's compromise right there.
Yeah. Take your Your little dildo and come along. Harrenhal. Oh, an ambush. Scumbags.
Worst part is, who was it that put them to this?
His brother, yeah.
His own brother.
Is it burning the castle, isn't there? How can you burn the entire castle?
You may know. You've heard the stories of Harrenhal, Your Grace. It is said to be a cursed place, that it passes judgment on all who pass beneath its gates. The Queen makes a wish. I assume you will write to your father now?
I did not wish for this.
I feel certain you will reward me. When the time is right.
What was his name again,
He's
sorry?
a bit fucking creepy.
Clubfoot.
They call him Clubfoot because remember one of his feet. Alright then, boys, let's talk about it. Thoughts and feelings on that episode? Obviously, it's been a while since last time we watched them, so coming back in.
Yeah, just about 10 years. Yeah.
Just feels like 10 years.
10-year time skip straight off the bat.
10-year time script. Yeah, that was hard to get my head around who explained it, but it definitely serves the story, at a much more juicier point. It's amazing how we started this series with, there's a few people not getting on with each other, but nothing really, chaotic to the point where there might be war. And now there's so many divisions, so many factions, so many, things on the line, and you just don't know who's going to war with who. Especially with the princess there taking herself off to Dragonstone.
Yeah, and I think I
almost
really
saying, well, we're going to arm her up because we know war's coming at some point. And then obviously it finishes with...
It's almost like in episode 5, as I mentioned, there was that whole conversation between Clubfoot and his brother, funny enough.
Yeah.
He makes the comment saying, oh, look, here's the Queen. Oh, she's wearing green. Oh, it's like, like she's setting up ready for war. And then here we are 10 years later, and it's almost as if now Rhaenyra is finally getting it going, actually, you know what? She is gearing up for war, and I need to get my defences up.
Yeah,
and Viserys himself, the king, is still even now just trying desperately to hold it all together.
Yeah. And we experienced that a bunch of times, didn't we, in the episode? But especially with Lionel, the king of, or the whatever you call him, of Harrenhal.
Yeah. As in
the Hand of the King.
The Hand of the King,
Hand of the King, yeah. With his son, obviously, when he was trying to admit his sin, and the king was like, oh, let's not talk about that. Let's just let you take your son off to Harrenhal. But yeah, Alicent, definitely a much more interesting character. Very reminiscent of Cersei, and just starting to become... What I like is she's quite power hungry until she gets mixed up with Clubfoot, and she starts to feel the implications of her desires or actions, and now she's almost unsure about how deep she's gone.
She's been using her influence and her status to maneuver people, and not to take that action.
No, she's not actually seen the result.
I would actually argue that what Viserys said to her earlier on in the episode when she tried to bring it to him, and he very, very clearly said, look, this will have
that's right. Yeah.
So I think she's been used to just being like
warned, but never tasted blood.
She's never seen what. Whereas he's come from a perspective of, I've lived through this. I'm a voice of experience. You don't want to go down this road.
Yeah.
And it's not until she kind of ignores the advice, carries on down that road.
Yeah, right.
That she now sees what he meant.
But perfect example. That's it. I mean, that was it. It's like she's been dabbling, she's been conspiring, but she's never tasted blood, and then she's come into contact with an actual,
somebody, willing to
villain that will carry out her thoughts,
or maybe just somebody a bit more morally,
unhinged, and he's come back.
I think he's a lot more in the black. Because
no, of course,
he just basically killed his dad and his brother.
Oh yeah, it's completely very sinister.
Or
and whatever his particular interests are in the realm overall. But
he's saying he's doing it for her, but it's like he said
it there, didn't he? It's like, I'm sure you'll reward me at the right time and at the right...
I made the
like a handy or what?
comparison that he was little finger, but actually he's not that. He's like, who's the guy who trapped the guy in the castle for years and chopped off his bits. And
Ramsay Bolton.
He's more like Ramsay Bolton. He's like a mixture of Ramsay Bolton and Littlefinger.
I could see he has Ramsay Bolton's.
It's a family thing, and he's sort of like, you know. So
I definitely think you're on the right track. The Littlefinger, that he's in the background. He's unassuming.
Yeah.
People ignore the fact he's there, and he's having such a dramatic effect on how things.
But
play.
it was amazing that Alicent's reaction at the end. I actually thought she might be shocked, but kind of happy. But she was actually terrified of what had just happened.
Yeah,
and that's great. Really, it's great depth to her character because you don't really know where she's going to go. And as you say, he's like, "And you will reward me in time," and because it's implying that she is going to change as a person. She's going to start getting used to getting her own way.
Yeah, and the thing is though, is that, you know, he's got leverage over her now
massively.
So now she's like, where she thought she had leverage over other people.
Yeah,
going, oh yeah, you've been playing checkers, I've been playing chess, you know, and it's sort of now it's something that she's going to be watching over her shoulder for a long time. She's got to learn to deal with that, you know, suspicion and all of that that's going to come with it.
It was good. It was good to have that break between episode 5 and 6 because there has been a jump. There has been a time jump, and I'm looking forward to getting stuck back in and seeing where this goes now as it ramps up. But I mean, again, the dragons. There is no better show that does dragons as good as this. I mean, that flight when Daemon is flying.
Oh yeah, with Laena.
I mean, it's just incredible. It's just so good, you know.
I actually, moving on to that, I feel really bad for Laena as a character because I felt like she was quite interesting and she made a really good wife to Daemon.
Yeah.
Like she didn't she wasn't like under the surface. She did stand up to him, but in a way where you could see that she both respected him.
Yeah.
You could tell that she loved him, but at the same time, she was like, if he was going to make a bad decision or do stuff, she was going to argue her point, what she wanted. So I feel it's such a shame that we didn't get more time and screen time with her. But at the same time, as per the start of the episode, where she said if she was going out, she wants to go out the way of the dragon rider, not, like a fat.
She lived by her word.
Yeah, so
she almost foretold it.
She almost foretold it herself. So I thought it was kind of interesting because sort of move briefly onto what I'd usually do, which is Daemon's moral meter. Which again, in this episode, I would actually make the argument that because of the time that's passed and the stuff that's gone on, actually he's been trying to make a nice family life, and actually kind of gone very more, I would say, more on the moral end because he's thinking about, like you said to her, it's like away from the politics, away from the stuff. It's a nice, easy transaction. We've got dragons, they've got money. Like it's good for the kids, it's good for her. I was like, actually, you know what? Meanwhile, like as they're all fighting in the mud back in sort of King's Landing, he's actually kind of trying to keep away from it all.
I know you made the joke that all the women actresses changed and he hadn't.
Yeah.
But I didn't recognise him as in his character, as in
personality.
He had gone from being a tyrant to being very, you know, like almost like a father figure laid out. I mean,
you saw him sort of teaching like old Valerian.
Yeah.
The sort of reading, as she said, you're in this car reading books and doing
like he was very different to the way I remembered him before, and I almost saw him like as a hero rather than a villain. Which is in the first 5 episodes, he just felt like a villain every time we saw him.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see where his character goes, but I'm hoping. What was his wife called again? Lena.
Yeah.
Lena. Are we saying that she died and the baby died, or she died and the baby survived?
No, she died with the baby.
Right.
Because they made the comment saying that we couldn't. I've tried everything in my art. I can't make the baby come. So she's just gone. Fuck.
I thought the baby might be fireproof or something because of Targaryen blood or something.
Yeah, they're not that immune.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was a great throwback to the first episode with the Queen dying that way, and then she lost the baby anyway. And
yeah.
And that's what I mean. And then Lena's gone. If I'm going out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was really good.
So, again, I just want to do a callback to the how graphic. I think is the word that I'm thinking. Like they've used like situational bits of graphic, like gorish overkill, as Morty would say.
Yeah.
Ghoulish overkill. And just that's the bit where she's walking out of the Queen's room and there's like blood on the floor.
Yeah.
Like and the cutting of the tongue, the birth. I mean, there are lots of things in this episode that were making me squeamish.
A really good point about her going like that start of the episode, which I suppose it's great to come onto that and that moment, because that just proves the point of just how, I suppose, how cutthroat it's become between the two of them. That she's like, okay, you've just given birth. She wants to see your baby.
Yeah.
And she knows exactly what Alicent's after.
There's
so she's like, not without me.
There's no quarter given. Yeah. It's literally like
exactly. So that blood is symbolising. Just the fact that like maybe to a certain degree, most of the men are almost oblivious to just how they're all like, oh, you know, war's a bad thing. Can't wait to get back to war.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, these two are at war.
No, that's a really great point, actually. Yeah, especially with the blood trail and they get the camera in focus, and he has to turn to see it to actually acknowledge it, because you're saying
and I think like unbeknown to us, or known to us as an audience, unbeknown to those around them, is that we are now seeing effectively the first strikes of what is becoming the war between Rhaenyra and
what houses do they represent? Is House Targaryen?
Well, they're both technically. I mean,
where's she originally from?
She was also Hightower, wasn't
right? Okay,
her father, wasn't it? So.
Okay, so effectively, it's like Hightower versus Targaryen. Okay.
Final point on the Daemon thing. Like I said, I would sort of put him up on the moral counter. But if you were going to give him like 1 to 10, 10 being moral, 1 being immoral, where would you now stick Daemon?
I would stick
7.
him up at like 7 and 8. I still found his
he was still a bit
attitudey. His responses to his wife were very short, because I can understand her frustration, because you talk about when they were flirting before, and it's sort of like she's seen this guy who's an absolute he's a badass, he's an absolute he's a challenger, he's a disruptor. He's that bad.
All the terms HR love to use.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've not been working in HR, so we're good. But it's like he's slowly become the opposite of that.
Yeah.
So while on one hand she's like, I've tamed the bad guy, she's like, you're also boring me, and I want to do something different. And
I think he's sort of saying like, let's just hang out here, let's do this, and she quite rightly is like, look, we do outside of this have responsibilities. We are royalty. We are this, and quite rightly, she misses home. She misses her brother. She misses like being her parents and stuff, and wants to go home. And I think all that's like valid and fair.
Her brother is the guy that's
her brother's.
I
think Laenor, is it the guy who's married to the princess?
The guy that likes dudes and fighting.
Yeah. So clashing with swords.
One might
say.
Clash of swords.
The clash of swords.
Wiggling your sword is just like, what the hell?
I do like Daemon though. He's the best type of character, because he's conflicted and complicated, and you don't know whether he's good or bad, but you're very interested to see what he's going to do.
Chaos to the mix.
Do you know what? He's giving me like Heath Ledger Joker vibes, and I don't know why.
As a
it's just very interesting to watch.
As a final point, something that I really like that we've now been introduced into this episode, which gives more, I suppose, onus on the different sides and what's coming out, is the kids.
Yes,
all having the kids stuff. That's what's now creating this drama, effectively.
I mean, the really interesting, the really interesting one is, I feel like throughout Game of Thrones, the all first 8 seasons, the only inter-fighting that happened, or the only real sort of challenge that you got to see between kids within the family was the Snows, and that's obviously to highlight Jon Snow being the ugly duckling, the black sheep, whatever, and he ends up being the chosen one, or whatever. But that was the only sort of inter-fighting you had there. We had rivalries and things, and it's fascinating in this that straight out of the gate, you should say, the main house, the main family that's running, King's Landing, there is a divide between the kids, because the princess has just been, well,
the princess is like, I'm going to be queen, and so my kids naturally get to become heirs. But equally, Alicent's firstborn child, Aegon, technically, the way the realm, as we saw from the previous episodes, the way the realm see it, first male-born heir to the king should be the heir.
Yeah.
And legitimate kid.
And legitimately would be considered king. So it's very, very interesting that the dynamic that plays out.
Well, they're just so different, aren't they? They're just so... They're not even...
You saw in that argument when she was sort of slapping him after he's trying to have a little happy time, and she's saying to him, like, she will kill you because you are legitimately a threat.
But I just...
out the window, what the hell?
But I mean the yard.
So
obviously the sword fight in the yard.
Yeah.
That was... This is supposedly all one family, and they are...
You're seeing sort of almost... the mother's fights spilling out into the children.
Literally, you had, two sets of, tribes fighting each other with two leaders. And, I mean, that alone there, it was like, wow. I can't believe within 5 episodes we've got to here. We've already got to, like, a war brewing. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah. Right, any more on that episode?
No, next.
Okay, we'll see you in the next episode.